Hey guys, it's Vince. Today in this video we are going to be discussing validation to monetization, and we are going to use these terms to assist those of you out there who really want to get the most profit out of your CNC robots when it comes to manufacturing. I get asked so frequently from potential clients, regular clients. I do consultations all the time. I do coaching all the time. Dealing with everything from product design all the way up to, how should I release this? When should I release this? If it's how much of a budget should I have to start a new project? And what I wanted to do is really do a video in simplified fashion to cover with you the basics. And when I say the basics, there is a lot of money to be made by what you're about to learn. And why I say that is a lot of guys take for granted that term, validation to monetization. They really don't understand that term. They think they do, but they really don't understand it. And I'm going to hopefully shed some light on it in a different perspective. So many YouTube ads are up today. Social media is used as a vehicle all over the place today for these so-called quote-unquote experts to discuss their new system, their new marketing scheme. They do it all the time to us. They immediately flash all the sales that they have. Hey, here's my validation. Here's the sales I have. Here's who I am. Here's what makes me special. Here's what makes me an expert. Yet, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, you'll always typically find nothing is easy. And we know that. The smarter people typically know there is no secret to success other than consistency and, of course, hard work. I'm going to try to take that hard work and in turn make it shorter for you, because if you master the steps I have outlined here, you have everything you need to know for not only your CNC robot, but just in business in general, I feel, to be successful. It has certainly worked for me. So what I'm going to discuss with you is the first term, and we're going to just go down here to just bullet points. I'm just covering it real simple. Some people use whiteboards. I prefer to use Microsoft Word. I'm just simplified that way. Initiate research process, and the easiest method is to copy the wheel and don't reinvent it. Too many past clients, potential clients want to start a business from scratch. I never recommend that. You're much more equipped to actually take what's already out there in a market field that you find is interesting and work around what is already released. If it's not a product that makes sense, or it could be revised, or it could be better as a Rev 2 model, look at that. Patents are created for a reason, but not everything is patented. China will tell you that. It's all over the place. The big thing here is never put your focus on products that will not make you money. If you're passionate about, a widget, and that widget is, making you $2-3, be realistic. I'm not discussing this outline for hobbyists. And when I consider to be a hobbyist is anyone who is not able to live on the money they're self-producing as an entrepreneur. Okay? If you can't pay your bills and in full and live comfortably on what you're making, you to me are not an entrepreneur, you're a hobbyist. So what my goal is to take that person who may be at that hobbyist level and put these actual bullet points to work. And once again, take the hard work you're willing to invest and leverage it. Because leverage, as we know with business, is the key to success. So again, I'm just passing on what I've learned in 43 years on this planet. Again, simplify your business model. Whatever it may be, keep it simple. Simple is easy in terms of how to really go through and digest everything we're about to cover. So reinventing the wheel, not a way to go. You have a 3-axis CNC, for instance. Let's keep it simple in what you're going to work with. You're going to work with potentially wood, potentially aluminum. Why I'm relating it back to CNC, of course, is because I engineer CNC controllers, so I just want to stay with that genre. However, of course, all of these points can be used in any area of business you like. So again, 3-axis CNC, wood, aluminum. Don't reinvent the wheel. Copy what's already out there, of course, not patented, and move forward. Product design, reverse engineering, revision. You can start from scratch once again with product design, or we could go with a reverse engineering revision where you potentially look into a product that's out there and redesign what's already there, copy what's already there, change the color of what's already there, whatever it may be. Once you've decided what product we're on, in terms of where you want to go, what genre you want to be in, product prototype. That's what's the next step. And of course, the prototype can be anything from a 3D print. I'm just staying with engineering, and again, we're staying with either additive or subtractive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing, 3D printing is awesome for a product prototype just to see what's going on. It's the lowest possible investment you can get. 3D printers are dirt cheap. You don't need anything really high-end, but it will accelerate you for coming up with new ideas. Once you figure out what product prototype you want to go with, you've executed it, now the next step is to master the product's fine details. And this step right here is seldom done. And I have seen this through top corporations. I've seen it through small businesses. Typically, though, I have to be honest, most small businesses where they have fewer products are the ones that really understand the fine details. And the main reason that is, of course, that they have time and put forth the effort to really look into detail of the products they're selling. If you do not master what you are selling and can project that mastery in either a skill, a craft, a product, whatever you want to sell, you're going to find very quickly that the business will become limited. Okay, it takes one bad review today, whether it's for Yelp, Google reviews, eBay reviews, Amazon reviews, the vehicles are out there. Those bad reviews are so simple to destroy you, especially in those first, I would say the first 6 months to a year of your business. Okay, online is amazing. As a vehicle, I prefer online because, of course, now, especially with COVID, it's just logical to have an online business. I could care less who you are. I can care less what you think about it. Having more streams of income is a proven statistical fact, has created more millionaires than anything else right now other than, I would say, real estate. Okay, but if you have an extra stream of income, it's much easier to get wealthy, even if it's a small stream. So that means really paying attention before you go into the market. You want to master the product's fine details, and that might take a while. And when I say a while, if you're working a full-time job, that could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Go over every detail of that product so that if a client does ask you a question or you present the final product, whether it's cosmetic, whether it's a functional product, you understand exactly every nook and cranny of what you're selling. You are the engineer and you're doing customer service. So again, that level has to exceed what's already currently available. It's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to do because the devil lies within. Details are where you will find the differences in everything. I don't care what it is. That's where you find everything. The question is how many people are detail oriented. Okay? And it's a proven fact. It's not the case. Okay? So the next step we'll come to is product final revision, validation, initiation. Okay, so now you've mastered all the details. You've done everything here. You've researched products. Now, when we discuss product design, reverse engineering revision, and we're talking about, like I said, I should have discussed this earlier, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit, digress. Just hear me out. I think this will make sense. When we go to product design, reverse engineering revision, you're always going to be asked, or you're always going to be asking yourself, I should say, what product should I do? So I said you had a 3-axis CNC. What could you do? Here's a real simple product. I'm just pulling one off eBay. Okay? And guys will say, well, why would I want to sell this simple bracket, right? Right. He's got 258 sold. It's amazing. This guy's located in the UK. Look at the feedback this person has. Okay, so we know he's selling. We can click on this number and see how many units and how fast he sold these units. Okay, this is a real simple product. I'm giving away 2 of these right now that somebody can actually look into. That was one. And then we have another one here. There's a Honda Civic battery bracket. Okay, has he sold any? How about 1,152? I think he sold some. So when we go through this and we do the research, products like these are all over the place. They're everywhere. Okay? This is nothing to cut on a 3-axis CNC. Absolutely nothing. Okay, you could cut this out of wood, step up to aluminum, nothing to it. So we've already proven. I picked car parts because, again, real basic, real simple. Pick whatever you'd like. Find something that's simple. Once again, simple and will work with your system. Don't get crazy. If you don't understand the tooling required, move on to another product. There's thousands. Okay? It's like that old saying, don't sweat the small stuff. Don't. Keep it simple. The idea here is to generate income, and we want to do it quickly. So that means we have to stay on point. Now, once we have that, we've picked a product. I've showed you two. Everything is set. Once again, you mastered the details, product final revision, validation, initiation. This validation initiation is the most misunderstood process I find in sales. And why I say that is people just don't get it that are usually getting involved with small business. Okay? Let me explain validation in a nutshell, real simple. Okay? I decide I want to open a hamburger shop, and I'm going to call it Vin's Hamburgers. Okay? My burgers are great. They're delicious. You want to come here with your family, you want to eat a hamburger. How wise is that for me to do when I'm competing? Let's say the restaurant's same size, same location in generality as far as maybe within 300 feet of a McDonald's. How much common sense would that be to open that kind of venue? Most of you are laughing, okay? There is no way in hell you're going to ever have validation with a very small budget, and I'm saying a smaller budget. We'll discuss that in a minute, but there is no way in hell you're ever going to have the validation McDonald's will instantly. Instantly. Can we reverse the scenario? Yes, we can. And I'll show you an instant way to become a millionaire. And this is no lie, an instant way to become a millionaire if you were able to go through with the process. The simplest way to become a millionaire, if you wanted to do a hamburger place or fast food location, would be to purchase a McDonald's. In order to purchase a McDonald's, and I speak from firsthand experience because my better half is a corporate accountant for franchise owners. You need $1 million in the bank. You need $1 million in the bank. So if you have access and liquidity of $1 million, you are instantly a millionaire. But guess what? You were a millionaire before, right? You're a millionaire before. So your leverage factor is what, 1 to 1? That means nothing. That's not impressive. You're a millionaire already. You're just taking your money and shifting it, and now you're becoming a franchise owner. But the validity that you're purchasing is what you're purchasing. And believe it or not, that one little example is a prime example of how a company over the years has created such massive validation. And believe it or not, McDonald's, many of you may not know, is a real estate company. They don't even classify themselves as a burger joint. These franchise owners actually rent the real estate. They're renting the name McDonald's. So it shows you how powerful validation is. Okay, so I just gave you a direct example to go from zero to a millionaire if you had $1 million and could do it. Now let's take that same scenario and let's utilize it for what we just found with those car parts. How about that? And I'm going to prove to you that we can do that same process if you had the money and the budget once we actually go through and break it down in this same overview of what we're looking at. So got here product, market, and niche. You already know you're in the car market because we just picked those parts just as an example once again. Analyzing infrastructure to assure your success. Budget is top priority. Now, when I say analyzing infrastructure, you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? I already got the machine. I know what I'm doing. You don't. You don't know what you're doing. And what I mean to say is, how many of these components have you sold? Have you gone through returns? Have you gone through shipping? Do you understand the infrastructure of the carriers? Do you understand the infrastructure if there's hazmat fees, international fees, VAT? Do you understand all of the intricacies of what you're able to produce with the quality that your client should expect and you would expect? If you don't understand that, you have no infrastructure. This is where most businesses I find fail. If I can't ship my systems, but I can build a kick-ass system, guess what? It's garbage. It means nothing. My handshake to you is when you receive that system and you plug it in and you unbox it and you say, oh my God, this guy took this time. He's using the double corrugated box, which withstands over 100 pounds of pressure. Why? Because that detail matters to you and me, because I want to protect my investment. How many end users do that? How many end users have you seen go through, and even Amazon, prime example, another vehicle, where a lot of venue of sellers go on there, and they go through and they'll do FBA, where Amazon actually packs and ships their product, and all they care about sales. Well, sales are great, but when we forget quality, you'll sabotage yourself and suffocate yourself because you're being ignorant to the fact that your clients aren't happy with the end result. Why? Not because necessarily the product was bad leaving the warehouse, but it may have become bad in terms of transit time reaching the client. So in turn, you're screwed. You're sabotaging yourself. Or you can take the same mentality I just discussed in the analogy between McDonald's and my hamburger stand and sabotage yourself in an instant. Let me explain. Validation can be purchased today for pennies on the dollar. You can use social media for validation, and I recommend it, if you understand you're playing with fire. Too much fire, you'll burn yourself up. You'll suffocate. Too little fire, and you're not making enough money. So we need a balancing act. We need to generate money doing it in a way that will let your infrastructure grow without taking on debt. Debt will kill you. Debt is killing most Americans now. Most Americans can't afford, especially with COVID, they're having trouble to pay their mortgage. Okay? And again, there's different reasons for that. But bottom line is, and I'm sorry to say it, most of the time debt is created due to poor choices financially. And what we want to do is mitigate our debt. So we need leverage. Once again, we're creating it. So let's say you've got your product, we've got everything set up, your infrastructure is set up, you've covered. You know what? I could probably handle with my full-time job right now, shipping and packaging with by myself, maybe 10, 11 units a week. Maybe 10, 11 units a week, because I still want to have a weekend. I don't want to live doing this. I want to do it, but I want to do it to where I'm building equity in myself and I'm generating income. I've created another stream, and I want to do this smart so I can continually grow. Right now, I'm by myself, so I want to limit that. I'm going to say 10 to 12 units a week. Sounds good, perfect. You've mastered the packaging. You've went through. You know how you're going to get your bubble wrap. USPS gives you free envelopes. You can use them. Don't tell them I told you. To go through, wrap everything, do what you need to do, and drop your shipping costs as much as possible so that we can put it in your pocket. That's the overall goal here. Once you guys do that, you're ready then to say we need to look for high validity justified targets for brand support without sabotaging ourselves, because remember, we're playing with fire. Let me explain. Let's say, hypothetically, you have a choice. You can go to your local cars, we'll say a car show locally, and you could start a little booth or pay someone to, even set up on a weekend, whichever way you'd like to do it. We'll say it's by yourself, so this way we'll save you the money. You're going to go and set up on a weekend for a day, a couple hours, just to get your stuff out there. That's great. It's going to take some time. You'll make a couple bucks, but that's great. You're also using a lot of time. You got to pack everything, go to there, waste all that time. Again, it's not a very quick vehicle. It's a very slow vehicle. And again, the validation infrastructure just is not there. You're not going to be able to generate as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time. The next level of validation would be, once again, using the resources we have online. Now, many of you, depending upon how savvy you are with computers, may understand. You can go on YouTube. You can find someone that has a channel. I recommend, if you're starting out, less than 1,000, I would say 1,000, possibly up to 3,000 subscribers. If you go to somebody with 50 to 100,000 subscribers, first of all, your budget better be big, because budget is what's really going to dictate how much you may have to work with them on, as far as, hey, I'd like you guys to do a review of my product. Check this out. How much can I pay you to do this? I'd like you to look into it. I'd like you to check it out. Or you could say, hey, I just want to send it to you. Do the review. Okay? I personally feel if they're going to do a review and do it of quality, you got to give them something in return because their time is just as valuable as yours. Don't be an ass and insinuate that you expect things for free. A lot of companies decide, hey, I'm going to mail you something, you can keep it. What if they don't like it? Okay? Think logical, be fair, and it'll come back. I promise you. So let's say in this instance you're looking at someone between 1,000 and 3,000 subscribers, and there's a reason I'm saying that target number, not just for budget, but because the exposure that they're getting can suffocate you if you want to do 10 to 12 units a week. If the quality is great, which most likely it will be, especially for that unit going to be reviewed, you're going to find really quick you'll be a person of interest with a product of interest, and all of a sudden, boom, we start acceleration. Once the acceleration occurs, you're going to find that the sales can pick up very, very quickly, and you're exceeding that 10 to 12 margin you want it to do that will actually support the infrastructure you've created. If you exceed that, you're going to be one of two things, or mostly two things: miserable and without time. And at that point, the business kind of overtaken you to where now you have no time and you're miserable, but you're making money, and you don't want to do that. So again, getting wealthy or making yourself more wealthy is stages. Keep it into stages and you will not fail. If you get greedy, remember, the higher up the ladder you go, the harder you fall. And most business owners at some time forget that. I like to grow small. And the only reason I do that is because I guess I'm blessed in the sense that I've always looked at other people's mistakes, companies I've worked with, and I always feel that staying within my realm is much smarter than going above that. And I recommend you all do that. And again, you can test what I'm saying. I know what I'm saying is correct. Okay? If you were to take these products that I just specified, and you were to take them, and hypothetically went, and I'm going to show you the opposite end of the spectrum. We started small, right? We said 2,000 to 3,000 subscribers, a YouTuber. That's your vehicle for validation. You found a YouTuber's in the car parts. He's going to say he's using your part. Boom, you've got validation, and he's going to put a plug in there. You can do that over and over and over again until we accelerate the business to a level that meets your demand as far as what you can support, as far as your infrastructure. If that doesn't occur, or you want to start at a faster pace because you've analyzed your infrastructure and you feel you want to become a millionaire overnight, and you feel you can hang with it, and you have a budget, you could take that and go to the next level. What's the next level? Well, you decide to send one of your parts over to Mario Andretti. You'll pay him $15,000, $20,000 to analyze your part. But now he's going to go in and say, hey, you know what? I'm using this. What do you think will happen to your sales? Exactly. And that's the whole key to understanding validation. Validation is understanding you use the resources that are there for you. Other people have already climbed the ladder of success. You're copying the ladder of success. It's done every day, subliminally, on YouTube. Whether they're showing you a Lamborghini in an ad, whether they're showing you, young college kids, women, they show jets. I love the Learjet thing now. I see that in ads. It's impressive. However, most of it's fake. The question is yours, of course. I never recommend doing fake type ads like that where you're kind of bloating yourself into a market where you're just trying to accelerate. The best thing to do is, once again, crawl before you walk. You can go as fast or as slow as you like, but once you go too fast, you can't slow down. You can always go faster. You cannot slow down. If you went right to Mario Andretti and he started carrying your parts, and boom, you've got the validity, boom, he puts you up on his network of vendors, and he discusses your part. You've paid the guy now $60K. Everything is good. Again, this is a higher level of the same theory. You will not be able to slow down. If you have a infrastructure glitch, let's say you have a manufacturing glitch, let's say you're doing 500 parts a month and you have a manufacturing glitch, how catastrophic is that? It could end you very, very quickly, and that's, I feel, the key of what usually happens with most businesses. They can become greedy. The greed sabotages the whole outlook of the business. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Most Americans can live easily or I should say would be very comfortable making another 1,000 to 2,000 a month just to start. Just to start. It's when you become greedy, I can make 5, 10, 15,000 extra a month, but you have no infrastructure to support that, nor do you understand the infrastructure you're creating. That's where you screw yourself. Start small, grow accordingly. Okay? And again, acceleration can always be achieved at any rate you choose, but slowing down and braking, not so easy. So, and recovering from a mistake like that at, let's say, a 500 unit production a month, where there's a screw up, and now you've got to do a recall on products, or you have clients calling you, what the hell's going on, the quality sucks, this sucks, blah, 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 blah. It could be catastrophic. So again, keep that in mind. What you understand now is that I've just demonstrated high validity, justified targets for brand support. You've already created a brand. You can call yourself whatever you want. I see clients ask me all the time, what should I name myself? Name is not so important. People will remember you or your product if it's worth remembering. Think about it like that. It could be named anything. As long as it's worth remembering, that's all that matters. The main thing is that you come up with something. I like simple names. I like things that, just they kind of have a ring to it. If it doesn't have a ring to it, again, it is what it is. If whatever you're comfortable with, keep it simple. Make it easily searchable. That's another big thing. If you're really concerned about brand, I don't find that brands today, in terms of name, are always what's required. And what I mean to say is, again, if components, especially if you're manufacturing them, components usually will be searched for, and regardless of the brand, if the quality's there, your name will travel, especially if it's associated, like I just did, with a high validity target. Okay? It just is what it is. You could be a bum actor working commercials or be in a Spielberg movie, and you go from that level of success that quick with validity, your career is off the chart. Keep that into perspective. Once again, once we have that actually taken care of and you figured out how we're going to go, and again, I've kind of discussed this too, vehicle platform to showcase product and validation. You have your social media, Facebook, YouTube, Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Craigslist, eBay, OfferUp, forums, etc. Again, those are your vehicles, guys. That's what's going to take you to the next level. And being we're in COVID, these are your best outfits. You're going to be able to leverage more of your time, leverage more of your money. I get guys that'll sit there and say that, and I've seen this all over the place, eBay's fees are high. Amazon fees are high. Okay? Go and rent a brick and mortar, or better yet, you may be one of the few out there that are, business owners with brick and mortars right now, and you guys know what you're paying. And you're paying that regardless if you sell or if you don't sell. I'm paying like 13% per sale on eBay, but they do all my marketing. I'm not doing any of the marketing. You go buy your brick and mortar, or you go lease your brick and mortar, you've got to still handle all of the marketing. So think about that. And that's why I tell you guys, be very, very careful on how you proceed. If you're working in your basement or your garage, stay there as long as possible. The best opportunity for anybody today, I personally feel, because I've done this myself, is to utilize your space, your personal space, as much as possible to leverage off of, to monetize. That is the best way to go, because you're killing two birds with one stone. If you live on 10 acres and you can access 2 of those acres to utilizing a shop, let me tell you what, you're killing it all the way around. Many business owners don't think like that. They still think old school. There's very, very few actual trades that require a brick and mortar anymore. Very few. If you're a doctor, yes. I mean, we still have to have visits every now and then. Now that we do have WebMD, but for the most part, doctors will require a physical location. Lawyers now are going fully online. I know by me it's happening every day. I mean, normal trades like haircuts, if you're a cosmetologist, a barber, that stuff will never go away. Mechanics, that will never go away. At least not at a level that would be effective to the economy. But if you leverage yourself as to what I just said. Yeah, it might take you more to acquire a piece of land to put your shop on, but how much more are you going to make in leverage from that land? It makes sense. Or just from your basement. I have guys that say, oh, I need a 4x8 machine to make any real money. I need a 4x8 mill to do anything. No, you don't. No, you don't. I have guys that are running TIG mills that, a little over 12 inches, and are jewelers that make 6 figures a year out of their house. Question is they're utilizing the leverage platform that they've developed. And that's skills that you have to take time to envision. So overall, if we go through here and we look at our vehicle platform, and you factor in costs associated with Amazon, eBay. Amazon, you're going to pay more than eBay. Why? Because Amazon is the number one retailer in the world. So again, your acceleration, your velocity is what you're paying for, but be careful. Be careful, because if the infrastructure doesn't support Amazon's velocity in sales, you will smother once again. You get bad reviews on Amazon because you're pumping out products, and all of a sudden, you let something go. Oh, that doesn't matter. I've heard that so many times from clients. It's a minor thing. I did things pretty good. It looks pretty good. How many times online you hear that? It looks pretty good. I cannot emphasize enough. If you're building stuff and your idea of pretty good is acceptable, be careful, because your idea of pretty good may not be someone else's idea of pretty good. And then it comes back to you. So it better be as close to perfect as possible. Study Six Sigma. If you guys don't know what that is, check it out. Toyota practices it. It's a general overview as far as what's acceptable in actual manufacturing. And usually that term is coveted by one bad product, so to speak, in 3 million. Now, is that excessive? That's ridiculous for most end users. But if you practice that, or practice it at a level that's more attainable to your business in a scaled ratio that's according, you're going to find you'll never have problems, or very minimal problems. The biggest problems I see people have, once again, and I've discussed this, like I said, with many clients, many potential clients that want to get involved in this, really want to and really see the money aspect of what's able to be done, is they have high aspirations, no budget, or high budget, and the aspirations are, I want to do it here, I want to do it there. Consistency is my next step. Consistency leads to success. One listing a day routine on the above vehicles. One listing. If you look at all these vehicles right here, start your YouTube channel, go through and start listing. Start your store. You could start it right now. I would say about, and I'm just coming up with numbers here, on average, 90% of the people that review my videos, 90% do not watch all of my videos all the way through. And I have over 200 videos that will explain so much in CNC. If you want to learn about the electronics aspect, you're going to learn. But the question is, are you willing to go through that? It's basically a college course. Go through it. How many will do it? Not many. I'm not there with you to watch what you'll do. But those that follow through get and reap the rewards. There is no mistake for trial and error and the process you use it with. If you're willing to go through the trial and error of the consistency factor where, hey, I'm listing today, and, things, speed bumps will come up. It's how you handle them. And the big thing here is, when people say I ain't got time, you make time. You do your listing, time yourself, do a time study. Well, that listing took me this amount of time. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow and the next day. Do what it takes. Do what it takes. You don't like working when you are? Whatever it takes. The weekend, I would be pumping out listings. Get that store created. Get your products mastered. Figure out where you want to go. I'm not a big believer in looking at the future in terms of years down the road, because, of course, our lives change crazy, especially with COVID now. I think everyone can agree that whole 5-year mentality, that's mostly out the door. We have to focus on today. So the big thing I recommend is using these vehicles, using what I just taught you. And if you think what I'm telling you is fake, if you think what I'm telling you is BS, those of you who have already watched the video up to this point, implement it. Try it. And then come back to me. Because I'm telling you right now, if the budget is correct and your infrastructure is correct, regardless of product, you will be a success. It's a fact. And regardless if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be wealthy, I don't know who I'm talking to out there, what age you are, it's irrelevant. We see 8-year-olds on Shark Tank, it's irrelevant. You got Mark Cuban backing you up, or Kevin Leary, and your product is good, their validation is going to take you to the top. Right then, the second you hit that show, you've hit the next validation level at actually a much higher pace. A much higher pace. Because the scary part is for the people that go home and get that kind of exposure, if they don't have the infrastructure, don't think for a minute that the orders don't come in just because they hit that level. As soon as they leave that show and them orders start coming in, but their infrastructure now is still at that low-key pace that they were prior, guess what happens? Exactly. So think about what you just heard here. Watch it again. Take notes. And like I said, just implement one thing of what I said going through here. And I guarantee you, you guys will see progression. I mean, it definitely, I wish someone would have told me this, but I'm telling you what I've learned and what I know to be fact, especially from the companies I've worked with, the people I've worked with. I've worked with some brilliant people, and I'm blessed for that. But I also know through my own, some of them, catastrophic mistakes, if you take your time, and like I said, I can't emphasize it enough, take your time, crawl before you walk, give yourself a small goal. Very, very small, achievable goal. You think you can do 10 pieces? Do 5. Who cares? You do 10? Great. You beat your goal. You beat your goal. But don't out-accelerate your infrastructure. Don't out-accelerate your work coordination and what you have collaborated between going to your 9 to 5 while you're building this. Because once this entity is built, your 9 to 5 will be garbage. And then you'll realize, hey, you know what? This is working. And remember, the biggest key to success as far as progression is seeing it. Once you see that, nothing motivates you more than that. So, again, I hope the video has been helpful. Many of you may or may not know, I do offer consultations if you have a specific product that you want to go over, if you want to have ideas thrown around. I do that. I do it. Again, I haven't really made a video on this, and maybe it's something long overdue. I might do some more depending upon the feedback I get on this. But I really hope you guys just try what I said. Just see if it works. Start small. Find that YouTuber out there with the niche market you're in. Find that, if you're a carpenter and you just bought your machine and you plan on doing trim work with it, find that guy on a social media network that you're into to highlight some of your work. See what happens. See if what I'm saying works. And you'll find out real quick how fast it is. Do you need a budget? Yeah, of course you're going to need a budget. Nothing is free. Forget the free talk. Free is crap. And anybody that owns a business will tell you it's garbage. And the main reason it's garbage is because everything has value. Things without value don't respect. Fact. You have value to it. Your time is valuable. His time is valuable. Don't ever insult him. And I guarantee you'll see that progression. Always respect yourself that way. Always hold yourself at that regard. And again, never ever release anything that you wouldn't accept yourself and be completely satisfied with. You'll be a success. So again, if you guys want me or want to contact me with some more questions, please contact me direct at storm2313@gmail.com. You can also contact me through my eBay store. To finish this video, just to prove my validation, my point, I'll be doing some follow-ups on some products that I've done, just to give you guys ideas. And again, show you that I practice what I say. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Again, who am I? Just try what I say. I'm a nobody. I'm a voice, but I have reason. So I thank you all. To all my supporters, thank you. Take care.